Welcome to Senior Insights. This is our boardroom meeting. I didn't get my name is Cynthia, by the way, for those of you who are new. We have a boardroom meeting every Saturday. You're welcome to attend. You might not be able to get a chair because sometimes they start fighting over the chairs. There's so many people here. And everybody wants to have input. Of course, that's why we're having this meeting. But I don't know what to talk about. Yes, I do. I'm going to give you a report because I like to report on things that have happened this week and the progress that this channel is making. And so I'm going to talk about some of the comments that I received. Somebody had a reminiscing moment about Romper Room with Miss Frances and the magic mirror. So I looked up Romper Room on YouTube. I didn't spend too much time because I'm behind on my videoing, so I couldn't spend that much time. But boy, did I have flashbacks. You really need to just search Romper Room. And they're just short little clips. One of them is the Romper Room song. When I saw her hold up the magic mirror, it came right back to me. Like, yes, I remember that. The song I remember. Because when you asked me, when we talked about Romper Room at other times, I was familiar with the name, but it didn't really ring a bell. It didn't trigger any visual images. The other thing that struck me is that the films were so old. We must have been, I don't remember them being as dull as they were and as dark as they were. I remember them being very bright and entertaining, I guess. But go look at it because it's quite interesting. When I'm done with this board meeting and after you guys all leave, you have a tendency to hang around for a while. And I'm not doing a scoop this afternoon, so don't think you can stay for the whole thing. I think I'm going to post Anne's video either this afternoon or Sunday afternoon. And that'll sort of take the place of on the time slot that the scoop is on, usually. So I might do that. I'm not promising anything. The videos on incontinence were actually a hit. And they had the most views this week, is the incontinence ones. Which I'm happy about because, it's not a very exciting subject. It's not really funny. I don't think I made anyone laugh with it. But it's something that needs to be talked about because, surprisingly, practically everyone who commented has incontinence. And the gentlemen that are here probably have incontinence as well. And there are incontinent briefs specific for men. I don't know if I shared with you that I have an affiliate link now with Amazon. And I put some links to washable underpants and stuff like that I went through all of them. I haven't tested them. I don't know what they're really like, but I went through all of them. I only chose a couple brands that had good reviews and, over 4.5 stars. So if you're interested in trying that, they're pretty expensive, but, if you're not paying a gallon, they may be just what you need. But you'd have to buy several pairs because you're peeing in your pants. And then they get wet. And then I'll have to figure out how you're going to clean those and not make your house smell. Along the same track of making your house smell. One of the people in the community mentioned that she took care of her mother-in-law when she was sick and she was incontinent. And she reminded us all to make sure that we pad our beds, especially if we're incontinent. I always put a mattress pad on it, on my bed, but I don't have a pad in case I was incontinent because I haven't gotten to that stage. But yes, you do have to have something that you can take off and that you can wash, or somebody can take off and wash, because it will smell. I know, all I talk about is how it smells. It smells, it smells. Yeah, it smells. You know how cat boxes smell? Well, that's what our... Okay, I'm moving on. Someone else said that an African gray goose makes a great pet. So if you're looking for a pet, you want to try an African gray goose. And of course, Woody had to put his 2 cents in, and he said if he wasn't so old, he'd get one and try it out. So I did answer him and say, I think you should try it out and let us know how it works out. I don't think he could anyway, because I don't think he's feeling good. I don't know anything about it, though. And then this one I should have saved for the scoop because it's kind of a little gossipy, but and I'm having a hard time. You guys are way too good. I'm having a hard time coming up with gossip things, and I really want to continue with that, but I think I might start getting into poetry. Not me writing them, but Simply Debbie Sue, she wrote me a comment. She wrote a beautiful, beautiful poem, and I wish she should post them on her channel, or she should let me post them and let me read them to you, because she is wicked smart. Wicked is a main word. She's very smart. And her writing is beautiful. She occasionally will share one that she's written on her channel. But she should write a book. Maybe she has a book. Maybe the person who gave me my journal, maybe she could, not the person who gave me the journal, but maybe Debbie Sue could actually write in a journal-like thing or something. But I think she should let me know if I can read it, or send me other things. I would be happy to share it, but she has her own channel and she can do that too. So anyway, I like giving her a shout out because she is a lovely lady. And boy, she's going through a lot. I didn't tell you what the secret was that I was going to use for gossip yet, did I? No, because all we do is talk about nothing. Catherine Otto, she's a member of our community. She used to babysit for Groucho Marx's daughter's children. How cool is that? She didn't say that she ever met him, but there were portraits of him, black and white portraits, all over the house or in the living area, wherever she babysat. So she said it was kind of a fun and interesting time, and that his daughter was lovely. So that being said, I have just a couple more. Some people are feeling like their comments, I've said this before, but I want to say it again because I need to talk about the comments. We get fabulous comments. We get wonderful interactions. But some people are still left out. They're not even getting a like or a comment, and they notice it. And it must feel like being the last one picked for a team, or the last one to win the race or something. So if we could, at least give them a thumbs up or something for their thoughts. That would be a good thing. I had to be a killjoy, I know, but I still have some more things. Somebody said that they didn't hear the end of the joke about the plumber. I can't even remember telling a joke about a plumber. And then Susan was trying to outbeat the other lady who got locked in the chicken coop. She says she got locked in her garden, and her back garden, and her husband did it. She had to get a neighbor to lift a ladder over the hedge or over the fence or something so that she could get out. She was angry. She didn't speak to her husband for months. I'm exaggerating. What else? So the other thing that I just wanted to report on is the 2 most watched videos. I'm not going to go through each one of them because the comments, there was nothing earth-shattering, and I sort of mentioned them all that I thought were worth mentioning. The one that had the most views was P happens, and then what? So that had 1,600 views, and it had 216 comments. Now, with that 216 comments, I need to comment about comments. I know I just gave you a lecture about comments, but this one is me. I read every single comment. If I don't read it on the same day, I get it. But I only sit down to deal with the comments a couple of times a day because my life would be consumed with, well, there was 216 comments on that, plus I did the scoop, which had about 100 and something, I'm not sure, but it was like 150. I mean, you guys are great. You're communicating in the community, which is a good thing. That's a very good thing. So, if I miss you, I try to go back and find the people that I missed. Sometimes it's a couple days later and you probably don't ever see them. The other thing is YouTube has been acting very crazy because I have answered comments tons of times, and then I will check for unanswered comments, and they come up again, and I know that I answered them. Other people, I tried to make a comment today, and it just disappeared. It says, try again. So that's the first time that that's happened, but it's, that's probably another possible reason that the comments are getting whatever. But I see a lot of interaction, and I see a lot of good things, and I'm really happy about that. I'm happy about you guys because you have done an amazing job. This corporation is going places. It's going places, and it's going places because of you. We don't need to go too far. We just need to maintain the same level of speed. I wanted to say another thing. Someone suggested, and I really think it's a good idea, that we maybe decide as a community, but I might have to make an arbitrary decision and let you know what time we decide, that we have a time, say 10 a.m., that we all stop and stop what we're doing and lift up our prayers together. So we would have unity and strength. And of course, you don't have to do it at the same time, but I like the idea of saying, okay, well, we have coffee in the morning, we have the scoop, 10 o'clock, she's making us pray. I think that's a good thing. So, think about it, and I will put down a directive in the posts at some point. So, enough about that. The scoop, everybody seems to like the scoop, and it's getting, decent views. What's happening, though, is the views from the morning and the afternoon is kind of they're leveling out to be the same amount of views that when I was just doing one video was happening. But anyway, it doesn't matter because I'm still having fun and I'm doing it, and I'm not doing it on the weekend. The other thing that I'm working on is I got a car mount for my cell phone in the car, and I actually got two. And I probably told you this too. I got two because I couldn't figure out which one was the better one, so I bought two, figuring I would return one. Well, no, I'm going to have them all over my car so that I can get different angles. So I did a video today in my car, and I haven't had a chance to look at it, so I don't know if it did anything good. Then I turned around the camera to a different angle, and I videoed that. I know that one didn't come out good. But the other thing I did is I went to the post office again, and there was stuff at the post office. So I'm going to share with you what was at the post office. And some of these were from earlier the week. I had to go twice this week to the post office. Well, not to the post office. I had to go by the post office, and I stopped at the post office because I'm really pretty curious about this. Anyway, look at this. I just wanted to brighten your day. That's what I want to do. I want to brighten your day a little bit, at least get off to a start. You know, after whatever happens after that, I have no control. But just think of this sunshine and be happy. Now, this one is awfully cute, and this is from Judy. And I wanted to mention another thing that I'm talking to Judy now. Another thing that I didn't mention when we did the incontinence is there's a medication called Pyridium, which helps. It's over the counter. You can use it. It helps with painful urethra. It turns your urine orange, and it might stain your underwear. But I found that it works. This one. This is the members of the board. How cute is that? That's the board meeting. And this is I, Carillion in Christ. She doesn't tell me her first name. She calls me Cinzy. What is that supposed to mean? Anyway, she did leave a quote in here that I'm going to read. No matter what happens, always keep your childlike innocence. It's the most important thing. So remember when I called you teenagers the other day? Hang on to that. And she needs to send me her address, or else she's in trouble. You are my sunshine. I love that. I love that. And this is from Lori. And she's from Ohio. And she wrote a really very nice note that I'm not going to share. But I love the card. And then we have this card. Isn't that gorgeous? This is from Kathy. She lives in Washington. She painted this picture. I mean, this is a print, obviously, but she has this picture in her living room or in her house somewhere. And it's absolutely beautiful. And she wrote me a very lengthy note, and she gave me a gift. And this is the gift. It's a feather pouch. And it is, she gave me a whole lengthy explanation about the tradition of this beaded. It's handmade and it's beautiful. Has a couple feathers in it, and she even cut up pieces of paper. You're supposed to put things in it like that, maybe like your husband's name if you miss him, and then maybe stop and think about it. She had a lot to say in her comments, in her note about mindfulness that we've done. And I would love to share the tradition that she shared with me, but I don't want to do that without her permission because I don't want to do that. So there. But she painted that. I don't know if she did it in watercolor, oils, or what, but that's pretty impressive. I wonder if she still paints. And then look at this one. Is that beautiful? That's the peony. This came from across the ocean, across the pond. And this is from Susan. And she lives in Leicestershire, I don't know how to say it, but you know what I mean, in England. I got to get that world map, don't I? This is cool, because there's someone from New Zealand that comes to this channel as well. Then we have this one. It says, just popping up with a happy howdy-do. Oh, we can talk about howdy-doody. Howdy-doody time. It's howdy-doody time. Do you remember that? I'll have to refresh my memory on the song. And Clarabelle the Clown. And some of the other characters. They're kind of going together, so I don't really know. But anyway, this is from Debbie. And it's an adorable card. And I want to thank everybody who sent me cards. And I'm still working on the candy. And that was from Pam. And there was one other thing that I wanted to talk about that was in my mind at 1 second, and then I lost it, and now I can't. Oh, I know what it was. I had proposed that I post pictures of pets or of the people. Many people responded and said pets. Some people responded and said, yeah, use my picture, that's okay. Someone else responded, it's really not a good idea to show pictures or pictures of the pets. Well, I'm not quite sure why it wouldn't be a good idea to do the pets, because they're kind of anonymous. But I was hoping to share whose they were. I can sort of see why you wouldn't share pictures, but most people have their pictures on their calling card or whatever, so the pictures are already out there. So I'm just pondering this. I think it would bring the community together more. I think we'd have more interactions. It would make us get to know each other better. But that's just my thought, and give me some more feedback on that, because I don't know which way to go. And the ice cream. Are you sick of hearing about the ice cream? Well, get over it, because until it's gone, I am going to give you a daily report. Anyway, I took it out of the freezer last night, and there was no way that I could eat it. Oh, I took it out and I let it sit out, and then when I wanted to have some ice cream, I attempted to have some ice cream, but it was hard as a rock still. I could scoop a little bit on the edges of the thing. So then I decided I'm going to put it in my freezers, in my refrigerator. So I put it in my refrigerator because my refrigerator is pretty cold. It's around 30 degrees, 33 degrees, I think. So I thought it might still keep it firm, but maybe let it melt a little bit. So I just tested it, and I forgot to bring it over here, so I'm not going to get up and test it because this video was long enough. But I took a bite and it was good, and it was not ice cream consistency, it was slush. Thank you for coming to the board meeting. I will see you tomorrow, but I am going to post Ann's video either this afternoon or tomorrow afternoon, Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon. So be on the lookout. Be nice to her because I made her do that. And, I said I was going to cut out some of her peas because she talks about peas a couple of times. And she shows us the peas and they have all these stringy things coming out. I was going to bring some of it out, but I think I'm going to leave it the way it is so you can see what she's really like. Okay, goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow.